Are these clients for real? They want to switch to buying 365 or 365 directly to save a couple of bucks a month? This is a scenario most MSPs face at some point. But should you fight it, try and educate them, or let them just do what they want? What if I told you this wasn't necessarily a bad thing and could actually become a massive sales opportunity for your MSP? As someone who doesn't personally have to deal with 365, 365, whatever you call it, and all the licenses and NCE and all of that, it does look to me like Microsoft has made it as hard as possible for you. That whole NCE thing is a massive pain, right? And especially if you have a client where you've made an annual commitment and then, of course, they hit you a few months in that they want to buy directly. And that just creates a headache for everybody. And it's not like 365 is a high margin item for you, is it? But from the client's point of view, 365 is right there at the core of the experience. Outlook and Teams and Word and Excel, these are all applications that most businesses use multiple times every single workday. So they want them to work, they want them to be productivity tools, not pains in the backside tools. And I think that's a basic and perfectly understandable requirement of any business owner or manager today. Don't you agree? So if someone wants to move the licenses away from you, buy direct and save themselves a couple of dollars per user per month, what should you do? I've asked a few MSPs this question over the last couple of weeks, and some of them have said that you should just roll over and you should just take it. So invoice them for any out-of-pocket expenses caused by NCE, make sure they know how that's going to affect the direct support that you give them, and then let them go off and buy it from elsewhere. Others have said that you should fight really hard to keep everything under your jurisdiction. Because isn't that the point of a managed service provider? That you're looking after all of their technology. And that starts with the very basic help desk functions and goes right up to their technology strategy. Now, if you don't have some level of control over everything in between those two items, help desk and strategy, then surely you're making your life harder than it needs to be. And that must have an impact on the service that you can deliver to them and the service that they'll enjoy. So maybe the message you want to send them is telling them all the downsides, all the bad things that could happen, like the fact they'll have to deal directly with Microsoft if there's an issue. They'll have to pick which license is best for them as well, of course. They'll have to set up their new users. They'll have to manage their users, deal with all of that headache. And of course, it complicates your basic support, or it could have an impact on some of the other work that you're doing for them. The challenge for you if a client asks this and you want to fight it is to make them realize how much extra work they're going to have to do for saving $2 per user per month. So to recap, some MSPs would roll over and say, here you go. Other MSPs would fight it to keep it. To me, there's a third option, and that's to use this as an early warning of some potential future change in your relationship with your client. Because let's be honest, this is just not a sensible decision that would be made by a sensible decision maker, is it? It's taking on a lot of extra work to save a tiny amount of money. And that rings an alarm bell for me. Is your client desperately trying to cut costs? Does your client really not understand what you do for that $2 per user per month? Is your client actually thinking of switching to another MSP or doing something completely different? And this is kind of your first notification of a very long process where at the end of it, they're going to leave and go to someone else. My suggestion is that if this happens to you, you don't use this as an opportunity to go in and say, stay or go. Instead, you use it as an opportunity to start a discussion, to have an in-depth conversation about their business, where it's going, what the goals are, what their issues might be, what are they facing at this very moment. Very rarely are you, as the MSP, the cause of some problems in their business, but you can become the victim of other problems that their business has. We'd always want to have a business discussion with someone before they made a major decision about doing something different, wouldn't we? And this might just be the early warning that you would always want to receive. It's actually quite cool to get it, even if it does cause you a little bit of distress and, of course, some work. And you know what? It might even lead to an upsell opportunity. Sometimes people cutting costs is a sign that they're actually looking to spend more, but in a different direction. So there might be some other services that you can sell them, or you might be able to come up with a more comprehensive deal that helps them achieve the things that that they want to achieve. Now, I would love to know what you think about this. And did you know I have a Facebook group that's all about discussing marketing and business growth, and it's a vendor-free zone. Only MSPs, no vendors. To join, go onto Facebook, type in MSP Marketing in the search bar, and then go to groups. And you just look for the MSP Marketing group. You just got to prove that you're an MSP by answering a few simple questions. And I look forward to discussing this with you in that Facebook group.
Paul Green's MSP Marketing Edge.